Starting your first project in ClickUp doesn't have to be complicated. Let me show you the exact setup every new user should try to get organized fast without feeling overwhelmed. Let's dive in. Alright, so as soon as you log into your ClickUp account, you will be welcomed by a blank space like this. So the first thing that we want to do is to make sure that the autosave for me is toggled on. So this is very important because any changes that you make during the build might not be saved and you don't want that to happen. Go ahead and make sure that the autosave for me is toggled on. The next thing that I would do is to customize the columns. So let me just add a dummy task here so that we can see the columns that we are adding. So by default, there is already an assignee, due date, priority. But apart from this, another thing that I'm also adding is the status and also the comments. And I'll tell you why. So for the status, it just helps for more visibility, right? So we can see exactly what each color means because as you can see here, you can already access the statuses from here as well. But again, as I mentioned, it's just good for visibility. That's why I would recommend adding it. And another thing is the comment section. This one is very handy because as you can see, as we click on the icon, we can leave a comment here without having to open the task and start adding the comments in this section, right? So that's just the basic that I would add. Okay, then the next thing that I would do is to also customize the statuses. So as I mentioned, we have full control in terms of the kind of statuses that we want to put into place. So just click the status, click the three dots, and then as you can see here, say edit status. And then go to use custom statuses, and then now you can add your own. So in this case, I will just change it to color blue. This one is in pink. Again, this is just how I set up. You don't have to copy this one. Another thing is that whenever I'm doing task statuses, I also like the idea of adding or incorporating color psychology. So for example, if it's in review, I usually would use red to that because red is associated with critical. So you want to add in review there. And then another thing that I would add probably is just black. You can also do on hold. So depending on what you want there. And then for this one, I'll just use gray. And once you're happy with your statuses, you can just click apply changes. So as you can see, all of the statuses that we've selected is now here. Now, let me just try to add more tasks here. And you will notice that once we move something to in progress, as you can see, the in progress is stays on top. If this is not the order that you want, you can actually change the order of it by just clicking this group icon right here and changing this one from ascending to descending. So as you can see, the to do now is stays on top. So all good for now. And another question that I usually get here is whenever someone marks a task complete, it disappears from the view. So that is just the default of ClickUp. And this is also the same scenario where I usually see people getting stuck. What they do usually in order to see the close status is that they will click this check icon. And as you can see, yeah, it shows the completed task. But there is a more efficient way in doing this. So instead of turning this on and off, what you would want to do is to actually customize the views. So if you don't know, ClickUp offers a lot of different views that you can do this by using the same set of data, but you are able to change how you want to view it. So I'll give you an example. So usually I will just rename this, I'll just put it to main view. And then depending on your ClickUp account, you can also set this as a default view. So if you are in the business plan and up, you can actually access this feature. If not, you can just use the pin view as an alternative as well. Okay, in order for me to be able to see the completed task, what I would do is I will just duplicate this view list and then I will rename it and call it completed. One feature that ClickUp recently launched is also the ability to customize the view. So I like icons a lot and I love incorporating that to my work. So in this case, I will just change the icon to a checklist and then change it to a green one, as you can see. So in this case, once I have the view ready, again, make sure autosave is turned on. Now I will do the filtering. So, but before I do that, I just want to make sure first that these two are turned on. And then now I will do here a filter. I will apply a filter here that says status is complete. Okay. So as you can see. So now as you can see, ClickUp is only going to show tasks that are completed. Now, if you prefer Kanban view rather than a list view, again, you can either create here directly, or you can also, again, duplicate it and then choose the view that you want. So let's say you want a Kanban. It's called board view in ClickUp. Again, you can change the grouping. So in this case, it makes sense to have a ascending. And then as you can see, the statuses that has no task are collapsed by default. So if you want to change that, you can just go to the settings. You can explore these settings right here. And then you can just turn this on. And as you can see, right? And then you can go to the field section as well and then turn on any custom fields or fields that you need. For this example, I will be deleting this because I prefer the list view more than the Kanban. And one last thing that I would do after this is to also save this general task list. So if you're happy with it, you can save it as a template. So click the three dots and then go to templates and then save as template. Here, I will just call it general task list. I'll just add demo so that I know. And then you can control who will have access to that and then save template. All right, so as you can see, once the template has been saved, now you can always use it. So for example, you can add another list. Instead of creating another list, right, like this, wherein it's not set up yet, and then repeating it over and over again, all you have to do is just click this plus button and then apply the template that you just created. So in this case, I'll just use that general task list demo, use template, give it a name. So let's say, for example, this is admin task, right? And then just use template. And then as you can see, it's already configured. So you already have the main view, you already have the completed as well. So it's already set up already. And then another thing here is you can even customize it further. You can change the icon of this one, but usually for me, I usually just prefer using emojis like this. You can change the color of it as well, so you can edit and then you can add some tags. So for example, if I change this to, let's say, general admin, right? So like you can also do like color coding in a sense here. All right, another thing that you can customize here as well, apart from having main view and completed. So let's just add some tasks here, and let's just say this one is on the 29th, this one is on the 4th, this one is, let's say, overdue task, right? So another thing here is that you can also, if you want to create a view that is sorted by the due date, you can do that by, again, duplicating a list, and then maybe you can rename it. Let's say you can call it by due date, like this, and then just change the grouping. So instead of being grouped by status, you will change due date, right? And that's it. Your first ClickUp project is ready to go. If you want to take it a step further and learn how to structure your ClickUp workspace the right way, check out this video and I will show you how to do just that. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.